Believe me, this is diabolical. There's over like, I'll explain it later. Let's just see. Live nose reaction. Let's see. What am I going to get as my first one? There's a whole lot on the wheel. I could explain a lot of it using whatever, but I just want to know. I want to know what's going to be the first one that really set it off. Trying every archetype. Let's go. I nuked my PC. Okay, now it's back, I think. Wait a second. NEKOGAL. I can't believe that's an archetype. Of all archetypes to start off with, we get NEKOGAL. Well, this is a good starter. You will find out that this is an actual archetype. Kinda. I'm calling collections of 1 or 2 cards archetypes. I'm really stretching here, but that's what we're cooking. We're gonna make NEKOGAL playable. I'm joking. It's probably not gonna be happening, but it's gonna be like a 2-minute video. Alright. Alright, every good combo starts with this. This is my second time recording this, don't worry. Sleepy notes, dude, the audio gets so bad, like, I may have to use AI voices or something, because when I'm sleepy and recording, I sound like non-existent. Anyways, we have a combo here. This is only a 2-card combo. Yes, you have to open a brick, don't worry. We're gonna show off the power this deck has. So, here's part of the combo. We're gonna start off with a Rescue Hamster. Now, if you don't know this card, it can banish itself, summon a normal monster, and a non-effect monster. Well, a normal monster and an effect monster. So what we're gonna go for, we're actually gonna go for NEKOGAL plus Mystical Sheep. You know, it's all part of the combo here. It's actually pretty cool when you think about it. We're using NEKOGAL 1 in a deck? No way, this man's serious. We then go Instant Fusion. I know we had a hard draw, but don't worry, sometimes you just need to. We're going to summon Alvain, the Essence of Vanity. The interesting part about this card is that it's a tuner. Now, after that, we can actually go into a Synchro Summon. You'd be surprised, a deck like this can Synchro Summon using the NEKOGAL. Then... crazy. We're gonna go into Armadeus, Keeper of the Boundaries. And then, what's happening? What's happening? Dude, I'm not trying to click... Dude, miss, what's happening? What's going on? What's this? What happened? What is this? You know, I thought something interesting we'll do this time is show the deck at the end of the video, because sometimes maybe it's interesting to just find out, what am I doing? You know, what are you trying to curate here? And first off, let me go over what is the archetype NEKOGAL. Now, as Sleepy Notes from the beginning said, NEKOGAL is an archetype consisting of 2 cards, but not just 2 cards, 2 monsters, but not just 2 monsters, 2 normal monsters. One of them being NEKOGAL number 1, which is a level 3 Earth Beast normal monster with a flavor text what? Contrary to her lovely beauty, she claws on her enemies. Now, this is main combo here. This card is necessary. What's less necessary is the second card of this archetype, which is NEKOGAL number 2, which is a level 6 Beast Warrior normal monster with 1900, 2000, with the flavor text, a fast and lethal creature with very dangerous claws. Now, jokes aside, what am I going to do with 2 normal monsters? And that's where you get into the deck I'm building. Now, I'm going to see if I can pull off one combo. This is obviously like a joke at this point. No one's going to try playing this, but it is interesting to try to learn what can I do with this deck. And I have a bunch of cool stuff. I'll explain what the deck does at the end, and I'll explain pros and cons of this archetype and stuff like that. So, alright, let's see if I can get a game in. It'll be against a bot because this is a different software. I'm playing on Master Duel. It's called MD3 Pro or something, I don't know. It's a simulator, just like Dueling Nexus, which I use. I think it's pretty interesting. It's going to be quite immersive, so let me know how you feel about it. And if you want to actually join and try the simulator for yourself, let me know. Yo, I'll be honest, last game I played, I got nade on. This deck sucks. Now that I dropped the Ak and I can admit that the deck is pretty awful, I can give you a couple of interesting combos, starting off with Rescue Rabbit. Now, interesting is that Rescue Rabbit can banish itself to summon 2 level 4 normal monsters with the same name. So what we could do, we can go into NEKOGAL actually, summoning 2 copies. Preceding that, what we can also do is actually, we can go into Cherubini if we wanted. We have an extra normal summon too. We could go into Xyz's Armor Torpedo to hopefully draw a card as well, so let's risk it on the draw. We can trigger the effect of Xyz's Armor Torpedo, detaching 2 to draw a card. We draw into a really interesting card actually, High Ritual Art. One of the cool things I decided to throw in here, because it can summon a ritual monster from your deck by tributing a normal monster in your hand or field. We can tribute the burglar that we have in our hand, and guess what our option is? A level 3 ritual? Polite de Nouvelles. Interesting, this card actually has synergy because when it is special summon, you draw a card. We drew into a piece we didn't want to draw into, but it's fine. Because we have more we can continue with. We have Ready Fusion in hand. Pay 1,000. Summon ourselves the Fusionist. Then after that, we could go into more Xyz's Armor plays, but I'm thinking, what if we go Cherubini here? Cherubini of the Burning Abyss has an interesting card effect. It pitches a level 3 monster for cost. Now, technically our graveyard's not looking very hot right now, but fret not, little one, we can still make it work. We can send, to be honest, I think sending Sabers may be the way to go here. For the free special summon. Sabers is the free special summon. We have Mario Kutai plus Versago though. Mario Kutai won't work. Versago's interesting, but I think just send Sabers would be a play. We're gonna send Saber. Gain attack. We're gonna trigger Saber's effect. Saber to actually return the full armored Xyz, summon itself. And then that grants us access to actually make Sprint. Now using that, we can trigger Sprint effect and we have a target, which is Merly. Merly can also use their effect, shuffling back 2 monsters to go into a card. We can actually make Mud Dragon, or using the Fusionist, we can go into Dragostopelia. We can summon Dragostopelia. Then what we can do, if we want to add another Armored Xyz card, we can basically go Lancer, I believe, because then that'll make 2 materials. So what's interesting, we can go pitch the Morganite, go Lancer. Pitch Morganite, go Lancer, then go Xyz's Armor Fortress using the Lancer. Now Xyz's Armor Fortress has 2 materials, which means it can search up to 2 Armored Xyz cards. Oh, well, I wanted to add 2. I guess I messed up on that one. It's fine, we can grab full Armored Xyz, then it's cool. Because this also means that we have a free bounce with Sprite Sprint. So, our inboard, we do have a monster negate, we have the bounce back on special summon. And then we can Xyz into full armored Xyz if we wanted, after they special summon. Which I think is really interesting, so yeah. This is using NEKOGAL, so that's, I know generic inboard, I'm not ending on normal monster, I could have played Primite, but like, you know what it means, right? Ooh, wow, look at this, we're doing really hot now. We accidentally drew the Armored Xyz, so what we can do instead, we can go End Exalting Morganite here. End Exalting Morganite can banish itself, add a Morganite card from deck to hand, and then return one of our cards back into the deck. We can return the Xyz's Armor Fortress, so that we can trigger its effect to search it again by detaching. We can search, oh wait, I chained the effect, which is not what I meant to do, but it's fine. Now we go full Armored Xyz, and then we can go into full Armored Dark Knight Lancer. And then we can add ourselves Armored Xyz. We can also trigger Sprint to return it, but we're not trying to do that. We can go Inexalting Morganite, gives monsters +2 attacks on battle phase. We could go full Armored Xyz banishing to target an Xyz in the graveyard, but we don't need that. We do have Armored Xyz. This one targets a face-up monster I control, an Xyz monster, to give it a buff. Now, what we can do, we can go Armored Xyz here. Armored Xyz targeting Sprite Sprint, and then equipping full Armor Lancer, because when equipped, that will give it a buff. Now, since a card was equipped, I can attach one monster my opponent controls to this card. That's part of its effect. I'm not chaining that just yet. Target and attach it. Now this has 3400 attack. I can also trigger the effect to add a card back to my hand. I can actually add back the Armored Xyz if I wanted. And then I can trigger it again to trigger another card. So we can go Instant Fusion here. We're not using that. We can go Instant Fusion to summon Mudragon, actually. We could sprint it. We're not sprinting it though. That's a lot of attack, by the way. Like, it's really interesting. We can go Battle Phase here. We can attack doing 3400. Sweet. Sprint. 3k. We could then trigger the Utopic Rainlancer spell trap effect from being equipped, which granted an extra attack. And that's game. Now here's another interesting combo I can pull off. We can start off with Rescue Hedgehog. Rescue Hedgehog can trigger its effect, banishing itself, and this time instead of NEKOGAL, we're going to go Sangan plus Hallow. Because they have the same level and typing, I'm able to special summon them in sequence. Now, something very interesting these two cards can do is once I can go into Muddy Mudragon. And remember, since Sangan just left the field, I'm able to add a card to my hand. We get to add Mario Kutai. Now, another thing we can do, we can actually go Inexalting Morganite, followed by using its banished effect to add ourselves Time Tearing Morganite to give us the extra normal summon. And then we can shuffle back the NEKOGAL if we wish. And now that we have Time Tearing Morganite, we get a free normal summon, which is kind of what the deck needs sometimes. So we can go Rescue Rabbit here. Rescue Rabbit can banish itself, granting me 2 more monsters. We're going to summon both NEKOGALs, because that is like the archetype we're playing, so we summon both NEKOGALs here. We can then proceed to go into Cherubini of the Burning Abyss. Now, Cherubini of the Burning Abyss has a very interesting interaction I can pull off. With Cherubini, we can actually send ourselves Versago the Destroyer, which actually can be treated as a substitute for any fusion material. Now, this gains attack. Versago's in the graveyard. We could go into Sprint if we wished, but we don't need to, because Muddy Mudragon plus Cherubini, this card can be treated as a substitute for any fusion material. We can go Muddy Mudragon for Lubellion the Searing Dragon, because this card's treated as Fallen of Albaz, and then Cherubini is a dark monster. Now, because we have interesting fusion material, we can actually trigger Lubellion. We can discard the Mario Kutai. And because of that, we're able to use our materials to summon Last Warrior from Another Planet using the Mario Kutai plus the Muddy Mudragon. Unfortunately, my Lubellion's not safe, so it gets popped. And then we end our turn. And then that's one of the other combos it can do, you know, and then we get Regeki'd, so. Alright, now that I shut off the deck, let me talk about it. So my goal was to summon Last Warrior of Another Planet, go into like some rank 3 lines, really play around with the rescue monsters, some really unique cards I'm running in. I just learned that enchanting fitting room, a normal spell card that pays 800, excavates top 4, and summons any level 3 or lower. This card can theoretically summon 4 normal monsters from your deck. But if you wanted to be more consistent, you would have to have more normal monsters in your deck. Learning about the new card that came out, Rescue Hedgehog, for the TCG, it's really cool. And I feel like it can definitely be broken with with the use of like Sangan. Rescue Rabbit's always been a clutch card. Because I'm running these Fiend monsters, I took out Rescue Cat because it was only summon Beast. But either way, I still think it's cool. We had a painful decision in there. We ran Conscription to further add Mario Kutai if we wished. The High Ritual art to summon the new Veil is super funny, I'm gonna be honest. And it grants extra draw. I did run Pierce in the Darkness, but I found out that the deck's bricky, like really bricky. So you want to have a lot of normal monsters for your Rescue Rabbits to trigger, and your normal summons, and your painful decision. You want your ability to search Time Tearing Morganite because you want extra normal summons because they're normal monsters. It's so wild. Then you want a bunch of Reborn so that you can try to summon back your last warrior. It's so funny. Running rank 3s like, Fortune Tune because it can survive being last warriored. Having fusions like Dragos Depalia to shuffle back your Lubellion after it's been used. And your fusionists, going Tearlaments Merly, Sprint, Cherubini to send cards you need because you are on the rank 3 axis from Mario Kutai for Last Warrior, Versago, First Depalia or Mudragon. Going the Armored Xyz line because honestly, why not? You're running a rank 3, get a free draw for Armor Torpedo, going for some attack, get a Zeus going. Super funny. I know you can definitely do better. Now, here's my pros and the cons of the archetype itself. The pros. There's a lot of normal monster support. There's a lot of Earth support. There's a lot of... there's kind of beast support out there. You can run the new Primite cards that just came out, which really helps normal monsters out, but I'd recommend, if you were to play with normal monsters, not these. Rescue Hamster's funny. Another pro that I have for the NEKOGAL archetype is that, it's funny and niche. If you really want to play a deck like this, don't bother. But now the cons I have is that they're normal monsters first off, so you're running bricks. This makes Blue Eyes look like Ryzeal with how many bricks there is. There is no good hand here. It's either you have a dead hand or you have a hand that doesn't do much, right? Because they're normal monsters, you're playing with normal monsters, and Goblin Bikers is level 3 rank 3 access, so play that instead. In totality, I did find this pretty fun to play, and it's like cool to show off like new mechanics and stuff that won't be used very often. But if you enjoyed this, let me know, and then I'll get on to the next wheel and see what's next. With each one I complete, the wheel drops by 1. I think I have around like 300, I have like almost 400, I think I have 398 archetypes on that wheel that I'll be going through. And if you want to know about this simulator I'm using, it's called MD3 Pro. So, and also I'd love to run online games with you, so if you get MD3 Pro or have Nexus or something like that, let me know and I can run some games against you. And yeah, it's been me, and enjoy. That's been TEA. Whew.